Hello, everyone. I'm back. Welcome to Member Summit again. If you are just joining us, welcome. If you have been sticking it out the whole time, we're happy to have you. My name is Elissa. I am a financial crimes investigator here at BECU. I've been with BECU for about 5 years. I am super stoked to be talking with you guys tonight. I am going to go ahead and invite in just a minute here Dana and Robin to be a part of the fraud panel. And we are going to talk with you guys a little bit and answer some of your questions. So, switch over here. Before I do invite them over, this is a little slide that we wanted to put in front of you guys to have to view. It basically just goes over the top fraud trends at this time. So, or fraud reports, I'm sorry. So right now, there's about 2.2 million fraud reports being made all around, which is insane. That's so much fraud, but I see it every day, so unfortunately it's normal. Younger people are reported losing more money right now than older people. That is something to be mindful of. If you weren't just with us in the previous session, I talked a little bit about that and how social media has a really big impact on that right now. So if you do have, I would even say teenagers up until 29 at home or, in your life, definitely talk to them about social media and ways to prevent fraud. All right, I'm going to go ahead and switch on over and have Robin and Dana join us now. Hello, everybody.
Hi. How are you doing?
I'm good. How are you? All right, so I believe that we're going to have Tori at some point as well, but we'll go ahead and start. If you guys would like to start, submitting some questions for us, we will go ahead and start answering them soon. I am going to start off with asking, let's pick on Robin this time. So please. How do I avoid becoming a victim of a phishing scam?
The best thing to do is honestly read your email before you click on anything. Before you open the email up, especially let's say it's your personal account and let's say it's a Gmail account, you can actually take your mouse and hover over the email, the subject line, and you can find out who is sending you the email. Honestly, is just make sure if you open the email, the
Uh-oh. Robin, I think we're losing you. I'm sorry. Uh-oh. Oh, now we've got Tori.
I think I can finish answering that question for you.
Yeah, perfect. Thank you, Dana.
We work together, so.
Yeah.
Can't quite complete our sentences, but generally along the lines, you can hover over the email address or the email itself, depending on your email provider, and see who the email is actually from, what the real address is. Anybody can make the address look in text like it's coming from me, but it's really from xyz at whatever.com. So they can spoof that. That's one of the things you can look at. That's a dead giveaway that something's definitely not right. It's definitely phishing.
Perfect. Thank you. Tori, it's okay if we haven't, but have we had any questions come in? I can go ahead and...
No, not any new ones yet, but we can go over some more common questions.
I can definitely talk about a common question that we get is, what should I do if I receive a call or text from a bank or company requesting personal or account information? If you do happen to receive a call or text requesting information from you, like personal identification information or account information, definitely be cautious. It is okay to decline to answer at that time and say, I'm going to go ahead and call my financial institution by verifying the phone number and asking for your name, or finding out if they even work there. So we would definitely encourage you to, search for your financial institution's phone number on the back of your debit card and or your credit card, or online, and then contact them yourself and, verify whether that call or text is a legit text, and go over the different ways to protect your account if it wasn't.
You can do the same type of things with emails if you don't trust them too. If it looks completely legitimate, you can call in and contact us.
Yeah, for sure. That's a good call out. I would say with emails too, if you guys are just joining us, one thing that we did talk about was, BECU is at becu.org. So if you do happen to get any text or email or anything that says becu.com, those are some really good things to look for. Make sure that it makes sense to the website that is reaching out to you. If it says .com and not .org, but we're becu.org, that's a sure sign that that's probably not a good email. Oh, Robin, welcome back. We lost you.
Yeah. Technology.
Dana took over for you, thankfully, because, you guys work together, so that's great.
Thanks, Dana.
Yeah, no problem. Can't quite finish your sentences, but I'll work on it.
Dana, one question that comes to mind that's a common one is how can someone create a secure password?
Well, you got a couple of different options there. You can do it the old school way, just grab a piece of paper and start writing down options. Try to come up with a phrase that makes sense to you. One of the examples I used in the previous presentation was come up with something like, 42 Wallaby Way, Sydney. Even Dory could remember that, right? So you write it down, you put in some of the common punctuation or maybe mix it up a little bit. It's already got numbers in it. Things that you want to have in there is a capital letter, lowercase letter, a number, and a special character. And depends on the place you're going, they might have some requirements around the special characters, but pretty much anything you can put in like normal punctuation, most places will take. So come up with that, come up with a password that way or a passphrase. Another option is grab a password storage device or password locker. And most of those will come with a password generator built in. And then you can put in different criteria. If you want 5 capital letters in your password, you can put that in there typically. If you want a certain group of special characters, only punctuation or something, you can put that in there. So you've got those options. That one's probably the most random thing, and it may not come up with passphrases for you. It might be some stuff that's going to be really hard to remember, but that's what the password storage device or tool is for. So you don't have to remember those. You just need to remember the one you get into it with.
Exactly.
But those are some good ways. Don't use your name or your username or your birth date or your kid's or dog's name or anything like that in it. Just typical things like that. The longer, the better. There are some restrictions, but one of the examples I mentioned, I know a guy that used the song lyrics from the song that never ends. It was a really long password.
Hopefully he can remember that every time he needs to enter it.
It worked well for him.
My dad always suggests, my dad, suggested to me when I started creating passwords for things, he was like, always look at something random, like if it's a rainy day outside, do rainy day, capital R, capital D, 5, 6, 7, whatever seems appropriate. Do a random thing. I remember that every time I have to make a password.
Yeah, if you can remember it, random things that people wouldn't normally guess are associated with you are the best.
Yeah, for sure.
For sure.
A couple of questions that have come in.
Hey, okay, good. Cool.
So we have a question from Isaiah who asked, am I safe if I paid someone with a gift card?
Well, I would say it definitely depends. This one's mine. Sorry, this is a question for sure. I'll take it. I would say it depends on what how you got the funds to pay them or what you're paying it for. If you are buying a gift card and as a payment or like a gift out of the kindness of your heart, then it's fine. However, once you purchase that gift card, and it's provided to that person, those funds are available to them and they're gone. So if for some reason you receive a check and then they're asking you to purchase gift cards as a form of payment, not a great thing. That's a super bad thing. Basically what they're asking is they're asking you to provide them the fraudulent funds that they've provided you in a way that can't be tracked. So if you can steer away from paying people in, gift cards and stuff, I would highly suggest it. Gift cards should be gifts, just like their name.
Thank you. Okay, so we have another question that came in from Joe who said, I lost my wallet, and then I canceled and replaced my cards and my ID. Do I still need to worry about somebody using my ID for fraud or identity theft?
It is always good to be cautious of that. Technically, it does appear like a valid ID, so it is good to be cautious of that. And that is when I would suggest that you do, have the talk with your financial institution about other ways that, we can help you protect your account. One way that we can help you protect your account is a code word. So no matter if you lost your ID and you need to come into BDCU to verify, we're still going to ask you that, and you still have to know it. So if someone doesn't know it and they're trying to access your account, that's a huge way to protect you. Other financial institutions might have other options on additional ways to protect your accounts, but I would say it is still good to be cautious, and we can work with you on making sure that the account's noted that your ID was lost, April 28th of 2021, and, verify with caution going forward.
Thank you. We have another question. From Paul, who asked, can children also be victims of identity theft?
Oh, absolutely. They absolutely can. That's a great question. Unfortunately, children are super vulnerable to being victims of ID theft. And normally, unfortunately, it's by family members. That information can be found. Things can be created in their names, such as cable bills, so on and so forth. So definitely utilize tools like annual credit report to look into that information and be cautious of your child's social security number. Keep that locked away too, and not in your wallet.
I'd like to add on to that. Some companies, monitoring companies, will provide the ability to monitor children's, social security numbers and things like that, just like they would yours and mine. So, for example, you can put your entire family on a credit and monitoring service, and that's one way to help protect that nobody opened up an account in, say, little Bobby's name, because he's not going to get email. He's not going to get mail at some address. He'll never know until it's too late. So that's another good way you can kind of keep track of it if somebody's attempting to.
Absolutely. And they will definitely contact you if that name is being used and it shouldn't be. So that is definitely a great thing to do.
Yay, team effort. I love this.
We have one new question from Taylor, who asked, what's the difference between phishing and spam?
Ooh. So that's a good one.
Go for it.
Phishing is usually it's slow going. In other words, they're trying to get you to click on a link and hoping that you do, like for instance, that you don't read your email. You're just going to open it up and just click. That's what they're hoping will happen. That's phishing. Spam is when you're getting a whole bunch of emails with different advertisements and different things to purchase. Again, advertisements, and it's just inundating your emails. That's what spam is. But phishing is specifically trying to get you to do something. In other words, click on a link so they can get your information. There you have it.
Something to remember with those types of emails too, when you're getting a lot of spam email phishing. A lot of times they'll use really good not really good tactics. What am I saying? Really shocking tactics to get your attention, such as you only need to pay for shipping for this product. Well, you pay that $5, but all of a sudden you've got 99.99 coming out every week all of a sudden, and you're like, I just only paid for the shipping. So those are things to be aware of too when you start seeing emails like that come in, and they look, enticing to respond to. Make sure that you're verifying the website that you're clicking on. If it is a product that you are interested in, do research to find it on other websites. I'm sure that there's plenty of other websites holding it that have real advertisements that are not going to be hurting your financial accounts.
Exactly. And also one quick thing on this. If you suspect the email to be a phish and it's pointing to a different website, just go open up a browser and just go to that website. Do not click on the link in the email to get to wherever it is the site is.
Yeah.
One other thing that may help you in the long run, most email providers have the ability to report phishing and spam. So if you suspect it's phishing, report it.
Yeah.
If you know it's a bunch of garbage advertisements, report them as spam. The browser or the internet provider or the email provider will mark those and start blocking them from those addresses then. So at the very least, they'll go to your spam folder instead of your main inbox.
Right. Good
And
point.
let us know too, because we have, if you do receive an email saying that it's from BECU and you just applied for a loan or something, but you're like, I never did. We can mark those emails as phishing emails too. So definitely encourage everyone to contact the real company after doing some verification of their phone number or email address or customer service support, and filing that, because we'll ask you to forward the email to a specific department so that we can mark it as a phishing fraudulent email as well.
Yeah. I have a couple of new questions here.
Yeah.
This one's from Stuart, who asks, what should I do if I believe the computer I use for online banking has a virus?
Oh my gosh. Should we both answer it? I'll answer my portion.
Go for it.
Unplug it and don't do a single thing on it. Call BECU right away. We're going to help you lock down your accounts. We're going to have you come in and we're going to assist you the best way that we can. If you have logged into your online banking account on this computer that to have the virus and you did it prior to realizing it, we're going to try to assist you with closing your accounts, opening new ones, changing your username and password, having you get your computer checked for malware. Definitely don't continue to talk to anyone that takes over your computer or pretends to be from Microsoft and asks you to pay $1,000 to fix that. I promise you it does not cost $1,000. It doesn't cost $50,000. I have seen that as well. You can take your computer to a professional that will treat you with respect and give you an honest price. But we will take care of you right away. Just unplug your computer as fast as you can. Do you guys have anything you'd like to add? Yeah.
Oh yeah, definitely. Yeah. Microsoft's never going to call you to tell you your computer's broken.
Right.
Along those same lines, go see a professional. There are probably 100 of them in the Seattle, Tacoma area that you could pick from, probably more than like 1,000 that you could see to have that looked at and potentially fixed. Unless you have the skills, you can try to do it yourself, but you definitely want it checked out.
Something that I learned recently from a coworker of mine was that the people who will attempt to take over your computer and try to, have you open your online banking accounts will use different tactics to make it look like they didn't transfer funds between your account to make fraudulent transactions, and they'll make it seem like the money's still there because they've taken over your computer and have access to do that. So it's really important that if anyone's calling you, just like Dana just said, Microsoft will never call you. Amazon will never call you and be like, I refunded you $50,000. I need you to log into your online banking so that we can remove it. These things just don't happen. That's not how business is run appropriately or respectfully. Right. So, definitely do not continue to engage in those, and then be cautious of, people having access to your computer and being able to manipulate information.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you. So we have a question from Sarah who asked, how do I prevent unemployment fraud if I don't need those benefits? Should I create an account anyway? And what else can I do?
Oh, that's a good question. I would definitely say, you could create an account. It's not necessarily something that you would need to do, but it's definitely something that I would check up on. If you don't need those benefits, calling, the unemployment office and confirming that you don't have any benefits open is always a good sign, and making sure that you're monitoring for that.
Thank you. So we have a question from Neil, who asked, are there any additional security measures that I can take to give some extra security to my accounts?
Yes, a code word. That is my number one holy grail. Like I said, it is a password for any time that you call or come in to BECU. It's never something that we will ask you for. It is only information, if we're contacting you. It's only information we'll request from you if you're contacting us. So that is always a really good idea. You want to treat it like you would treat a password or a PIN number. You don't want to make it something normal to everyday life. So not your dog's name, name, not your boyfriend's name, not, you know, your street address, not I love you or something. You want to make it kind of catchy. You want to make it fun to you, and make it something that someone's not going to be able to guess. You know, same thing like we talked about with username and password for online banking, making those things that aren't going to be obvious to you, not using your first and last name as your username, not using your first name and middle name or first name, middle name, last name, you know, these types of things. Again, not using dogs' names, children's birthdays, street addresses, those types of things. So making those types of things unique. Something that I also suggest, especially for you know, people who are just extremely concerned with, which is totally understandable in this day and age, with security questions, I don't always suggest answering them like with the question that they're asking, like, what's your favorite sports team? You don't have to put that your favorite sports team is the Seahawks. You can be like, I love Alex down the street or something. It doesn't have to be anything that is
make something up
pertaining to that exact question. So if it's a way that you can protect it and you know, make sure that it's not going to be obvious to you, again, you can definitely use random responses to those things as well. And then just making sure that you're keeping your card and your PIN number to yourself. You know, making sure that you're keeping your wallet on you at all times, not putting your social security card in there or leaving it in your car, and being vulnerable to possible theft.
Great tips. So we have a question that asks, what should I do if I think that my credit card might have been stolen?
Good question. So if you think that your credit card has been stolen, I would immediately call BECU to let us know. We can take a look and review charges with you and discuss turning the card off and getting a new one. If you think that it's lost in your house, if you think it's lost in your car, if you think that you left it at a grocery store, no matter what answer you give us, I'm going to suggest we turn it off, because the fact is you just don't know. It could be under your bed. It could be in the grocery store parking lot. Your kid could have it. You just don't know. So it's better to get it turned off and get a new one mailed to you right away, so that we can prevent fraud from occurring on the account. So if you think that you lost it or you think it's stolen, call us right away. We also have an after hours number that you can call to report that as well. And you can find that on our website.
Yeah. Hi. So I have a question from Gina. Said, what should I do if I think I might have given out my information to someone who shouldn't have it?
Again, call BECU right away. Honestly, just call us. Just call us all the time. We want to talk to you and protect you from all these things. So if you believe that you have given your information to someone that should not have this information, call us right away. We can talk about the scenario in which you gave him the information, him or her this information, of course, and discuss the steps that we need to take. Did you just give him your card number and the expiration date and stuff? Still not great, but we can turn your card off without changing your entire account number and username and password and those things. Did you give him your social security number, your username and password, and your account number? Okay, now we gotta get serious and make a lot of changes. So definitely call us. Let's talk about the scenario, and we'll get you squared away in the best way that we can for what's happening.
Thank you. I don't see any new ones right now, but do we want to go over some more common questions?
Sure.
Yeah. Do you guys have any that come to mind? I feel like a lot of people have asked mine.
How about some for passwords?
I would like to say something since we're kind of got a little bit of time. I want to plug the fact that we have some free training for everyone. It's security training. It will help you while you're online, and they're short trainings. If you just go to the BECU is affording these for you, so it's free. If you go to the website, I gave you the URL earlier, and I'm sure that I can get that out again to let you know what it is. But please go to the free training. It'll protect you. It will help protect you. Now, what you do with the information is up to you, obviously, but we are definitely providing some security training for you to help you through these, shall we say, trying times.
Yeah, absolutely. I'll actually piggyback on that. We at the financial crimes department is doing a lot with high school and doing fraud webinars to educate teenagers in class and stuff like that. So, if you have a teenager at home, or if you want to recommend a school or go to the school and say, hey, contact BECU so we can do these fraud webinars, please do. We're super excited to be doing them and teaching, young adults how to succeed and not be the victim of something terrible, especially at such a young age. You don't want $10,000 of debt at 16. Let me tell you, that doesn't sound fun. Nobody wants that 20, 29, 47.
Exactly. So please take advantage of the free training.
Yeah.
Absolutely. I've taken some of the training courses that Robin mentioned, and they're pretty good. It's good quality.
Love that.
Lots of useful information.
Okay, we do have a couple of new questions that have come in. So the next one is, what should I do if I get a pop-up on my computer saying that I have to pay to unlock it?
Ooh.
I can take that one.
Okay.
First, don't click on it. Typically, you're probably going to have a problem with encryption of your data or something like that. Or it could be just a random virus that could simply be because you moused over an advertisement on a page. So there's lots of different things that could have caused that, but don't click on it. If you have the ability to kill the process on the computer to close that, another thing is you can just unplug from the internet and while you sort that out. That's probably your best first move, is unplug from the internet, turn off your wireless connection, whatever it is. And then whoever had access to it no longer has access.
Mm-hmm.
Then you can sort it out, take it to a professional, get worked on, or you can try to do it yourself. But yeah, probably the first thing you should do is disconnect from network connection of any kind. And depending on the situation, you may be able to fix it fairly easily, and you may not. It all depends on what you come up with. It's not uncommon to go to different websites and all of a sudden you get a pop-up saying, oh, you got 8,000 viruses, click here to download a new antivirus tool. Well, if you have one, that's probably bogus first, and then more likely it's bogus. And their antivirus is probably not going to be any better than the one you got. So it'd be a waste of time to have two.
Yeah,
right.
I would like to just piggyback and say, like, if you did happen to click on this and someone is asking you to pay, a lot of money to look at your computer, that's definitely a huge red flag and a sign to, go stop and go, whoa. Okay, maybe I need to relook at this situation, because nothing like that should cost you $1,000. It should never cost you $10,000. I am not making these numbers up when I say that I have had people come back and almost send $50,000 because they thought that they were fixing their computer, or they thought that they were refunded an amount because this exact scenario happened. So it's very good to be cautious. If for some reason you happen to click and it gets to a point where money gets requested, that's the moment to stop, unplug again, and just, not continue, and call your financial institution and take it to a professional in person.
Right.
One thing you can do to be proactive to help prevent things like that from happening, make sure your operating system's up to date on whatever your device is. If you have an antivirus or you have the option to get one, use one. There's even free ones out there that are pretty good. Most of the paid ones from well-known companies are really good. Do those kinds of things to help protect your system, then you're way less susceptible to those kinds of problems.
He is absolutely right about that. If your system is up to date, you've patched it, you've run your antivirus constantly, you're definitely good to go. But if something like that does happen and the pop-up happens, do as they suggest, because if you're not a professional and you don't know what you're doing, unplug, please. Unplug. Contact the financial institution and take your computer somewhere to get it looked at. Have them fix it, or at least check it out.
Instead of when in doubt, Google it, we're going to say when in doubt, unplug it. Unplug it.
Yes. Good tagline.
We have a couple of other new questions here. This one is, what steps are you taking to reduce potential attacks?
That's YouTube.
Say that again.
The
What are
question
we doing
is,
to reduce what?
what steps
Reduce
are you
what?
taking to reduce potential attacks?
Oh, we've got quite a few different things that we
Yes.
use again to protect the institution. We have a company that looks for fraudulent websites that are trying to imitate BECU and actively try to take those websites down, get the providers to turn them off because they're definitely fraud. That's one thing we do. We have free training that we give out. Robin's been talking about. Another thing
Pushing.
that we do.
Yes.
Yeah. Another thing that we do reach out to the community in different places trying to educate folks like this event. And the last ones, we basically keep our systems up to date and try to protect everything on our end and make sure that people understand we're not going to call you to say, hey, you need to reset your password. It's typically not going to happen that way. We're going to ask you to come into an institution and change it in person so we can verify your ID and things like that. Just the general concept of how we do business is always above board. We're not going to send you an email to tell you to fix something. Or the only thing we might do is send you something to say, hey, come in and talk to us and get it fixed. Come see us.
Right.
And
Exactly.
when you walk into a BECU financial center, you know you're going to the right place.
Exactly. And the education. It's like Dana said, I have to keep talking about this. Education is really the key. If you know what to look for, then that's half the battle. So the only way to get that information is to take the free training. Well, there is other ways, but if you take the free training, I'm just telling you, it'll help you.
And it's something that we offer, so why not, right? Like, it's something that's there. It's just, you just go to becu.org and
All right, thank you all for those. We have another question from Adrian. I said, beyond spoofed emails, what else should I look for and signs that an email might be fake?
Aside from spoofed emails, you really just need to read the email. If you can hover over the link in the email, not the link in the email, but if you can hover over the email address, it'll tell you if it's a fake. It really will, because you'll know based on what it looks like. If you open the email and you're reading it, if it looks like there are misspellings or the sentences are incorrect, or it's just giving you a scary feeling like you've got to do this now, then chances are it's a phish and you really need to contact the bank if it's a banking one, and you need to get rid of that email so you don't get a virus or get malware on your computer. But this is I'm saying this jokingly, but honestly, you really do need to check your emails out and not just open them up and just click, because that's just a recipe for trouble.
Well, and you're totally right about everything being like right in between the lines. I mean, I can't express this enough with the, unfortunate, fraudulent, BECU texts that have gone around. The very first thing that you notice is that it says becu.com. But then later in the text, it'll also refer to another website that you need to click on to actually confirm fraud. That's like www, americago.com, and we're like, what? That's not a website we own. We would never ask you guys to go there at all. That was totally made up, by the way. That's not a website, but it's something that you should be cautious of if you do get those types of things. You can definitely read between the lines, reread it slow. Go becu.com. Oh, they don't have that. They have becu.org. It's normally right there. So then you can call us and we can work on flagging it as fraudulent.
Exactly. Just don't click on the link. Sorry.
Don't do it.
Yeah, no worries. One other thing is we have multiple people that will look at an email that are going to go out to members. So it's not like I'm just going to sit down and write something and I might make a misspelling. We've got multiple sets of eyes that are going to look at this. So it's really rare that a misspelling or the logo is upside down or some crazy thing like that. I mean, those are going to be giveaways that maybe, well, the logo would be pretty obvious, but misspellings of common words that your kids probably could spell.
Mm-hmm.
That's a good one. The punctuation or the noun and verb are backwards and things like that. Simple things that you learned in school, in English class will get you a long way in identifying some of this stuff.
Absolutely.
Anytime they're asking for you to verify something or wanting money or, yeah.
Right.
There's a huge list.
So true. So true.
Thank you. Okay, we have another question. That's what are your best tips for good security questions?
Okay, I'll take that one.
Okay.
Good security questions. Usually, institutions and different places you'll go to get an account are going to have canned questions that they use for everybody. So, if they ask you what your first job is in high school, make something up. Something you never actually did, because anybody that knew you then could come up with that answer. Your first the high school you graduated from, or the street you lived on, or your mom's maiden name. Those are all things people can find on the internet if they have any clue who you are.
Exactly.
Make something up. Your mom's maiden name was Bob. Well, okay, that's probably not it. That's a good thing to make up. Pick some random things, or if they ask you what your first pet's name was, make up a dog you've never heard of, or something. Anything but what's really accurate. Things like that. If you have the opportunity to make up your own questions, pick something that only you're going to think of. What's your favorite part or cycle of the moon or something? I don't know. I don't even know what all the cycles are, so that'd be difficult for me. But just that idea, okay, I like a full moon is the answer. And put your answers in all lowercase or some other thing. Don't capitalize the state or some other thing if they're asking for it. Just do random things, I guess, is the best way to put it.
Agreed.
Random is always good when it comes to security.
Like I said, you don't have to
Mixing it
answer.
up.
My favorite sports team is Seahawks. It could be something else.
Right.
I like tacos.
Yeah.
Not even a team.
Which is
Why not?
good, but like, who's going to
Right.
guess that for that question?
We have another question. It says, what should I do if I accidentally click on a bad link?
Well, what should you do? So first, you need to find out what happens. If nothing happens, I'd worry, honestly. So you want to get. Well, let me back that up. If it's a banking email that you've clicked and you've clicked on this link, first you need to notify the bank. At least let them know that you've clicked on a bad link and it was we'll say a BECU email. Second thing you should do is scan your computer. Make sure you don't have any viruses that came because you clicked on that link. Other thing I would honestly recommend you do if you're not very good at computers and you're just not real sure, turn the computer off. Get off the network. Take it to someone who knows how to properly scan your system. That's what I would do. I'm open for other suggestions, but that's where I would start.
Yeah, that pretty much covers the basis. Let people know that you do business with or people that you talk to that you may have had a problem. I've gotten emails in the past from people that I know very well, and they're sending me random links. I'm like, I call them on the phone, like, hey man, something's wrong with your email, I think, because you're sending me this. They're like, oh, they had no idea. It was sending them without them knowing. So yeah, your best bet's to go get it looked at by a professional.
That's like Facebook and stuff too. When you start getting Facebook requests from people that you already have on there, if you've got Cheryl and Cheryl just requested you 5 more times off of new profiles, that's something to be cautious of. So
yeah, something's weird there.
Yeah.
Okay, so I think we have time for one more question. And this last one is, can I use the same password for all my social media if it's different than my banking password?
Absolutely not.
No.
Try to use unique passwords, even different usernames if you can, for every account you touch online. Regardless of the social media tool, don't use the same account info even for Twitter and Facebook or something. Don't use it for BECU and another financial institution. Use unique things. That's the best way to protect you, because the first thing a fraudster is going to do, if they get a hold of your username and password at BECU, they're going to try a dozen other financial institutions faster than you can blink. They have automated tools that'll do that. Same way with social media. If they find your username or your email address and password on there, they're going to try 100 different sites that they've already got on a list, and it happens so fast that you can't stop it. So if you use unique things, only one thing's been broken into potentially, or if you change your password regularly, they may have gotten old credentials from somewhere.
Exactly.
So that's your best bet. Use unique. Even if you have like a business account or a regular account at BECU, try to use different credentials for both of them, even though they're both at BECU. So it does look like we're almost out of time.
Yeah, we're done. Wow. Thank you guys so much, Dana, Robin, Tori. This was so much fun. Thank you guys so much for tuning in and chatting with us and asking us all the questions. We appreciate you guys so much. Have a great night.
Bye, everybody. Thank you.
This is the one place where you can grow, where you can be yourself, you can be real. You don't have to be a cookie cutter employee, and it advances you. It advances you emotionally, physically, and it's just an awesome place to be.
There are so many things I enjoy about working at BECU. I think the overall theme is really people helping people. And what that means to me, it allows me to be myself, come to work every day, be very real with people, especially now more than ever in their time of need. I really want, it allows me to be human.
I love what I do. I love the company I work for. I love helping members. I love just helping people.
Yeah, I do feel satisfied knowing that my actions throughout the day help the members with any of their financial needs.
I just love making them feel help, in everything what they need. I just love seeing those smile that, oh, thank you for helping me. That makes me feel so accomplished.
Helping members, it's a joy. I mean, it's making a difference in somebody's life, in their financial life, that brings a lot of pleasure to me, and also helping my colleagues,
I really like the attitude of everyone here, just the general positive feeling that I get from working with all the different people at BECU.
What made me proud to work at BECU is the care that I receive, as well as the care that I give out.
Especially now in this environment, members need us now more than ever. And watching my large staff interact with members on a variety of needs on a day-to-day basis really brings me joy, knowing that we're helping them in their times of need.
It's that connection with the community, both that respect that I think BECU carries within this region and the longevity of it. Just to think about how many people in our community have been able to buy homes and save up for retirement and drive cool cars and meet financial goals because of our commitment to the community.
But in particular is being able to partake in someone's journey. And my quote has always been, to be but a grain of sand in someone's journey, I have done my part. People helping people is what we stand for.